2 days ago, I underwent an operation. Nothing major, just a hernia repair. But the hospital they took me to, that changed everything about how I felt going in, because it was the Glenwood, the exact hospital where I'd started my career as a plastic surgeon 30 years ago. And I wanted to tell you what happened when I walked back through those doors. It started out as a bad bout of bronchitis towards the end of winter last year. One of those brutal hacking coughs that goes on for weeks. My GP put me on some cortisone, cough mixture, the works, but by the time it cleared, I noticed something new. A small hernia right next to my belly button. Irritating, prominent, not painful, but it wasn't going anywhere on its own. So I called a general surgical colleague of mine, Sean Clifford, and we scheduled the op for Tuesday this week. Classic. I pitched up, psyched up and ready to go, only to find that the medical aid hadn't yet authorized the mesh for the hernia. Procedure was postponed. I went home frustrated. I woke up at 2 a.m. the next morning, couldn't sleep. By 5 a.m., I had an email from Dr. Clifford's receptionist, which had been sent the day before, saying it had been improved, but was now asking me whether they should put me on the list for Wednesday. Now, I'm a former surgeon. I know what this means. That means your slot's gone. Your position on the list is gone. And you're looking at another day, maybe two. I messaged Sean directly. He said, look, come in, I'll fit you in. And that was that. I had no idea what walking into that hospital was going to do to me emotionally. The Glenwood was where I started my practice in 1996, 30 years ago. 3 months in, and I was already flat out busy. Workman's compensation cases, trauma, dog bites, skin cancer, and I loved every bit of it. I remember standing in theatre one morning and thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm actually being paid to do this. That's how much I loved surgery. So when the theatre sister came to fetch me in the ward and I was wheeled up to the theatre on the gurney, the same corridors, the same smells, the same sounds, those memories came flooding back. I wasn't the surgeon anymore. I was the patient. And here's the thing that got me most. How many of the staff still remembered me? From 1996, nearly 30 years ago. People were warm, kind, genuinely pleased to see me. And somewhere in me, beneath all of that warmth, was a quiet, burning discomfort because they also knew. They must have known the story, the scandal, the public humiliation, the campaign that 2 people waged against me that ended my career. Dr. Clifford warned me that it was a painful procedure. I naively thought I'd be going home by the afternoon. I was not going home. I needed proper pain medication or management, which tells you something about hernia repairs that nobody prepares you for. That night, I lay in the ward, staring at the ceiling, barely sleeping. Hospital beds are notoriously uncomfortable, and everything felt heightened. Strange environment, strange sounds, and a lot of time to think. I'd watch doctors doing their rounds, coming in, checking charts, moving on. And I'd feel this wave of something I can only describe as grief. Not self-pity, grief. Because that was what was taken from me. Not just a job, a calling, a craft that I'd spent the better part of my life developing. And it was stripped away in the most egregiously unjust way imaginable by 2 people who made a calculated decision to destroy my career and my reputation. The anger was real. I won't pretend it wasn't. But something else was there too. I took an Uber home the next morning, throat absolutely shredded from the intubation, which was actually the worst part of the whole experience. And I had hours to sit and think. And what kept coming back to me was this. The path that was taken from me was beyond my control. I was dealt a terrible hand of cards. I was just unlucky enough to cross the paths with a psychopath. And that's not a word I use lightly. But in the 12 years since my career ended, something unexpected happened. I grew more than I would if none of this had happened. I became a different person. I pursued a law degree, I documented everything, and I started writing, not out of bitterness, but because the world needs to know how these institutions operate, how good doctors get destroyed, how the system protects the wrong people. That's what UNBUTCHERED is about. I'm writing the series in a serialized fashion, and book one, Dehumanizing a Plastic Surgeon, is available on Amazon completely free right now. No strings, no catch. The link is in the description below, along with my link tree where you can find all the books, updates on upcoming releases, and ways to follow the story. If this resonates with you, if you've ever felt like an institution failed you, or like the truth was buried by people with power, I think you'll find something in these books. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.